I sat at the head of the conference table, watching my son-in-law's face drain of every last drop of color. The room was filled with executives, board members, and lawyers. The air conditioning hummed faintly overhead, but all I could hear was the deafening silence that followed my son's words. Derek, my son-in-law, had spent the past 8 years mocking me, belittling me, and treating me like a worthless old man who had nothing to offer the world. And now, in a single moment, everything he thought he knew about me had been shattered into a million pieces. The boardroom was immaculate. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city skyline. The mahogany table gleamed under the soft lighting. Everything about the room screamed power, success, and influence. And at the center of it all sat Derek, dressed in his expensive suit, his arrogant smirk frozen on his face as he processed what my son had just revealed. "Wait," Derek stammered, his voice cracking. "What do you mean he owns the company? That is impossible. He is just a retired janitor. He lives in a small house on the outskirts of town. He drives a 10-year-old car." My son, Marcus, looked at Derek with a cold, steady gaze. "You have been mocking my father for 8 years, Derek. You have made jokes about him at family gatherings. You have called him a failure behind his back. You have treated him like he was beneath you. And all that time, you had no idea that he was the one who signed your paychecks." Derek turned to me, his eyes wide with disbelief. "That cannot be true. You cannot be the owner of Harrison Industries. I have worked here for 6 years. I have never seen you in this building. I have never heard your name mentioned in any executive meeting." I leaned back in my chair, folding my hands together. I did not yell. I did not gloat. I simply smiled, a calm, knowing smile that made Derek's face go even paler. "You never saw me because I did not want to be seen, Derek. I have been watching you from the shadows for years. I have seen how you treat people. I have seen how you talked about me. And I have been waiting for the perfect moment to reveal the truth. Before I tell you how I destroyed the man who had mocked me for years, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe to Vindication if you have ever had to stand up to someone who thought they were better than you. To understand how we ended up in that tense boardroom with my son-in-law's world crumbling around him, you have to go back 8 years. My daughter, Rebecca, had always been the light of my life. She was smart, kind, and fiercely independent. When she told me she was dating a successful businessman named Derek, I was happy for her. I wanted her to find someone who would love and cherish her. But from the very first time I met Derek, something felt off. He was charming. I will give him that. He knew exactly what to say and how to say it. He complimented Rebecca, made her laugh, and seemed genuinely devoted to her. But there was something in his eyes, a coldness that he tried to hide behind his easy smile. He looked at me the way you might look at a piece of furniture, something to be tolerated but not really valued. At the engagement dinner, Derek pulled me aside. "Mr. Harrison," he said, his voice smooth and practiced, "I want to thank you for raising such a wonderful daughter. She is going to make a great wife." He paused, his smile widening slightly. "Of course, I am sure you understand that I will be taking care of her now. She will not have to worry about anything. I am a man of means, after all." The implication was clear. He was rich. I was not. He was successful. I was not. He was the one who could provide for Rebecca, and I was just a retired old man who had nothing to offer. I bit my tongue and smiled, but I filed his words away in the back of my mind. The wedding was beautiful. Rebecca looked stunning in her white dress, and Derek played the part of the doting groom perfectly. But throughout the reception, I noticed the way he talked to my friends and family. He was condescending, dismissive, and arrogant. He made jokes about my house, my car, and my retirement. He acted like he was doing me a favor by marrying into my family. Over the next few years, the mocking only got worse. At family gatherings, Derek would make snide comments about my age, my appearance, and my lack of ambition. "How is retirement treating you, Mr. Harrison?" he would ask, his voice dripping with false concern. "Still spending your days watching television and doing crossword puzzles?" My other children would laugh nervously, but Derek never missed an opportunity to put me down. He would make jokes about my car, a 10-year-old sedan that had seen better days. "When are you going to upgrade, Mr. Harrison? I know a guy who can get you a great deal on a used car. Though I suppose you are not really going anywhere, so it does not matter." He would laugh at his own jokes, looking around the room for validation. He did not know that I drove that old car because I wanted to, not because I had to. He did not know that I had a garage full of vintage cars at my estate, cars that I restored myself for fun. He did not know that I owned half the properties in the city, that I had built an empire from nothing, that I was one of the wealthiest men in the state. I kept my secret because I wanted to see who my children really were. I wanted to see if they would love me for me, or if they would only love me for my money. And I was not disappointed. Rebecca loved me without conditions. Marcus loved me without conditions. But Derek? Derek loved only what he thought I could not give him. The final straw came 3 years ago, at Rebecca's 40th birthday party. She had planned a small gathering at her house, just family and close friends. Derek had taken over the planning, turning it into a lavish affair that was more about showing off his wealth than celebrating his wife. I arrived early to help set up. I walked into the kitchen, and Derek was standing there, surrounded by his friends. He did not see me come in. He was laughing about something, his voice loud and arrogant. "You know what I do not understand?" he said to his friends. "How a man like Harold Harrison could raise a daughter like Rebecca. She is smart, beautiful, and ambitious. And her father is just this pathetic old man who never accomplished anything in his life." His friends laughed, nodding along. "Seriously," Derek continued. "I mean, what did he ever do? He worked as a janitor. A janitor. Can you imagine? He spent his whole life cleaning up other people's messes, and now he is just waiting to die. It is honestly embarrassing. Rebecca deserves so much better. But I guess I am the one who saved her from that life." I stood in the doorway, my hands trembling with barely contained rage. I wanted to walk in and confront him. I wanted to tell him exactly who I was and what I had accomplished. But I held back. I knew that revealing the truth in anger would not be as satisfying as revealing it at the perfect moment. I left the kitchen quietly and walked outside, where Marcus was setting up the grill. He saw my face and immediately knew something was wrong. "Dad, what happened? You look upset." I took a deep breath and told him what I had heard. Marcus listened, his jaw tightening with anger. "That man is a disgrace," he said. "He treats you like garbage, and he treats Rebecca like a trophy. I have been watching him for years, Dad. He is going to get what is coming to him." I put a hand on his shoulder. "Patience, Marcus. Patience. He will get what is coming to him, and when it happens, it will be beautiful." Marcus nodded, a slow smile spreading across his face. "I trust you, Dad. You always know exactly what to do." The next day, I called a meeting with my attorney, Arthur Langley. Arthur had been my trusted advisor for over 30 years, and he knew everything about my financial situation. I sat across from him in his office and laid out the situation with Derek. Arthur listened carefully, nodding occasionally. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair and smiled. "You have been playing the long game, Harold, and I have to say, I admire your patience." I shrugged. I wanted to see who my children really were. I wanted to know if they would love me for me or for my money. Rebecca and Marcus have proven themselves. Derek has proven himself to be the exact opposite. "Have you told Rebecca?" Arthur asked. "Does she know about your wealth?" I shook my head. "No. I wanted to protect her from the pressure. I wanted her to find her own path. But I think it is time she knows the truth. And I think it is time Derek learns a lesson he will never forget." Arthur nodded, pulling out a legal pad. "What do you have in mind?" I leaned forward, a cold smile playing on my lips. "I want you to prepare the paperwork to transfer ownership of Harrison Industries to Marcus. He is going to be the one who delivers the news to Derek. And I want Derek to know that he has been working for me this entire time. I want him to know that every paycheck he has ever received came from the man he mocked for years." Arthur chuckled, a low, dry sound. "That is going to be a beautiful moment, Harold. I cannot wait to see his face when he finds out." I smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Neither can I, Arthur. Neither can I." Over the next few months, I watched Derek continue his arrogant behavior. He mocked me at family gatherings. He made jokes about my house, my car, and my retirement. He treated Rebecca like a possession, controlling her every move. He had no idea that the walls were closing in around him. Then came the day of the board meeting. Derek had been promoted to Senior Vice President of Operations at Harrison Industries. He was riding high, confident that his career was on an unstoppable trajectory. He had no idea that the promotion had been orchestrated by me, a carefully laid trap designed to bring him to his knees. The board meeting was scheduled for 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I arrived early, slipping into the building through a private entrance that no one knew about. I took the private elevator to the executive floor and made my way to a small observation room adjacent to the conference room. The room had a one-way mirror that allowed me to watch the meeting without being seen. I watched as Derek walked into the conference room, his posture confident, his smile smug. He greeted the other board members, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries. He had no idea that his entire world was about to collapse. Marcus entered the room a few minutes later. He was dressed in a sharp suit, his expression calm and composed. He walked to the head of the table and took his seat, his eyes scanning the room. Derek smiled at him, nodding. "Marcus, good to see you. I am sure you are excited to hear about our quarterly results. We have been doing incredibly well." Marcus did not smile back. "Derek, before we discuss the quarterly results, I have something important to share with everyone." He paused, letting the silence stretch. Derek shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "What is it?" Marcus looked directly at Derek, his voice cold and deliberate. "I want to announce the transfer of ownership. My father, Harold Harrison, has officially signed over control of Harrison Industries to me. I am now the sole owner and CEO of this company." Derek blinked, clearly confused. "Your father? Harold Harrison? What are you talking about?" Marcus leaned back in his chair, a slow smile spreading across his face. "I am talking about the man you have been mocking for the past 8 years, Derek. The man you have called a failure. The man you have treated like garbage at every family gathering. That man is my father. And until today, he was the owner of this company. Every paycheck you have ever received from Harrison Industries came from him." Derek's face went pale. The color drained from his cheeks in an instant, leaving him looking like a ghost. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. His confident, arrogant demeanor had vanished, replaced by pure, unadulterated shock. "That is impossible," he finally managed to stammer. "Your father is a janitor. He is retired. He lives in a small house. He drives a 10-year-old car. He has nothing. He has never had anything." Marcus shook his head slowly. "You have no idea who my father really is, Derek. He worked as a janitor because he wanted to stay close to the people who worked for him. He wanted to understand their struggles, their hopes, and their dreams. He wanted to be a leader who was not afraid to get his hands dirty. And he built this company from nothing, from the ground up. While you were busy mocking him, he was busy building an empire." I watched from the observation room, a cold sense of satisfaction washing over me. Derek looked like he was about to be sick. He gripped the edge of the table, his knuckles turning white. "This cannot be happening," he whispered. "This is a dream. This has to be a dream." "It is not a dream, Derek," Marcus said. "It is reality." "And the reality is that you have been working for my father for 6 years. The reality is that you owe everything you have to the man you treated with such contempt. And the reality is that your future is in my hands now." Derek stood up abruptly, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. "I need to talk to Harold. I need to explain. I need to apologize." Marcus shook his head. "My father does not want to see you, Derek. He has seen enough of you over the past 8 years. He has watched you mock him. He has watched you treat your wife like a possession. And he has made his decision." "What decision?" Derek asked, his voice trembling. Marcus leaned forward, his eyes cold and unforgiving. "You are fired, Derek. Effective immediately. Your employment with Harrison Industries is terminated. Your office will be cleared out by the end of the day. Your security access will be revoked, and you will not receive a severance package." Derek stared at Marcus, his mouth hanging open. "You cannot do this. I am your brother-in-law. I am married to your sister. We are family." Marcus stood up, his voice rising with barely contained anger. "You are not family, Derek. You are a parasite who has been feeding off my family for years. You have never loved my sister. You have only ever loved yourself, and you have treated my father with nothing but contempt. I am not going to let you destroy this company, and I am not going to let you destroy my family." Derek looked around the room, searching for support. The other board members avoided his gaze, their faces expressionless. He was alone, completely and utterly alone. He had spent years building a web of arrogance and entitlement, and now it was collapsing around him. He walked out of the conference room slowly, his shoulders slumped, his confident stride gone. He looked like a man who had just lost everything, and he had. The news spread quickly. Within hours, everyone at Harrison Industries knew that Derek had been fired. The whispers followed him out the door, a chorus of speculation and amusement. The man who had mocked so many people was now the subject of mockery himself. Rebecca called me that evening. Her voice was shaking. "Dad, I just heard about what happened. Is it true? Did you really own Harrison Industries the entire time?" I sighed, the weight of the secret finally lifting. "Yes, Rebecca, it is true. I am sorry I never told you. I wanted to protect you from the pressure. I wanted you to find your own path. But I also wanted to see how Derek would treat me if he thought I was just a poor, retired old man." Rebecca was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was filled with emotion. "He treated you terribly, Dad. He mocked you constantly, and I never stood up for you. I am so sorry." "Rebecca," I said gently, "you have nothing to be sorry for. You were in a difficult position. You were trying to keep the peace, and you were also being manipulated by a man who was never worthy of you." She started to cry, soft, broken sobs. "I was so blind, Dad. I did not see what he really was until it was too late. I feel so stupid." I felt my heart break for my daughter. She had been victimized by a man she had trusted, a man she had loved, and it was not her fault. "Rebecca, listen to me," I said firmly. "You are not stupid. You are a wonderful, brilliant, loving woman, and you deserve so much better than Derek. You have a second chance now, a chance to start over, a chance to find someone who will treat you the way you deserve to be treated." Rebecca sniffled, trying to compose herself. "What about Derek? He is going to be so angry. He is going to try to fight this." I felt a cold resolve settle in my chest. "Let him try, Rebecca. Let him fight. I have enough evidence to destroy him in court. I have records of his embezzlement. I have witnesses who will testify to his cruelty. He will not win this battle. He will not win anything." Derek did try to fight it. He hired a lawyer and threatened to sue for wrongful termination. But he was bluffing, and he knew it. He had been embezzling from the company for years, and he knew that if the truth came out, he would face criminal charges. He dropped the lawsuit within a week. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. Rebecca got the house, the car, and a generous settlement. Derek got nothing. He moved to another state, taking a low-level job at a company that did not know about his past. I heard through the grapevine that he was struggling, that his arrogance had finally caught up with him, that he was no longer the successful businessman he had pretended to be. I did not feel sorry for him. He had brought it all on himself. Rebecca slowly rebuilt her life. She started a new career, one that she loved. She reconnected with old friends and made new ones. She started traveling, exploring the world she had been too afraid to see. She became happier and more confident than I had ever seen her. Marcus stepped into his role as CEO of Harrison Industries with grace and determination. He was a natural leader, just like his father. He implemented new policies to support employees, expanded the business into new markets, and continued the legacy I had built. He never forgot where he came from, and he always treated people with respect, no matter their position. And I finally felt free. I sat on the porch of my house, watching the sun set over the city. The old car was parked in the driveway, a reminder of the years I had spent hiding in plain sight. Marcus and Rebecca were sitting beside me, laughing about something Marcus had said. It was a simple moment, but it was perfect. "You know, Dad," Marcus said, turning to me with a grin, "you are the most patient man I have ever met. You let Derek mock you for 8 years. 8 years. I would have snapped after 8 minutes. I chuckled, shaking my head. "It was worth the wait, Marcus. It was worth every moment of silence. Watching his face go pale, watching the arrogance drain out of him. That was a moment I will never forget. Rebecca took my hand, her eyes glistening with tears. "Thank you, Dad. Thank you for everything you have done for me. I know I was blind for so long, but I see everything now, and I am so grateful to have you as my father." I squeezed her hand gently. "You were never blind, Rebecca. You were just trusting. And there is nothing wrong with that. The world needs more people like you. People who see the best in others. People who believe in love. Do not ever let anyone make you feel bad for that." She smiled, a warm, genuine smile that lit up her entire face. "I love you, Dad." I felt my heart swell with pride. "I love you too, Rebecca. Both of you. You are my greatest achievements, far more than any company or any amount of money." Marcus laughed, his eyes glistening. "I should hope so. We are way more interesting than a logistics company." I laughed, the sound filling the evening air. "You are certainly more entertaining." Though I have to admit, the board meetings were never this much fun. We sat in comfortable silence, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink, a beautiful ending to a long and eventful day. I thought about the journey that had brought me here, the years of struggle, the years of silence, and the moments of triumph. I had built an empire from nothing, but my true legacy was sitting right beside me. My children, my family, the people who loved me for who I was, not for what I had. And that was worth more than any amount of money. I used to ride upon your shoulders thinking you could touch the sky. Every road felt less uncertain when I saw the world through your eyes. You were stronger than the mountains, taller than the northern pines, and when the winter winds were coming, you would stand between them and I. Time kept moving like the river. You slipped slowly off the sea. But no matter where life took me, you were always part of me. I am my Father's son. Every step I take, and every time I choose to stand when it is easier to break, I carry your courage in my heart, your fire inside my soul. And though the years keep moving on, your love still leads me home. You taught me strength is not in power, but in kindness when it is hard. You taught me how to keep on going when the road grows cold and dark. Every lesson, every story, every laugh around the flame lies within me like an echo calling softly through my name. And when I face my greatest battles, when I feel I cannot go on, I can hear your voice beside me saying, "Child, you are stronger than you know. I am my Father's son." In every step I take, and every time I choose to stand when it is easier to break, I carry your courage in my heart, your fire inside my soul. Although the years keep moving on, your love still leads me home. One day the snow will cover footprints. One day the fire will burn low. But the things a father gives his son are the things that never go. Not the gold or not the stories, not the battles that he won, but the quiet way he loved him and the man he becomes. I am my Father's son, and I always will remain. Through every triumph, every loss, through every joy and every pain, the world may change around me. The stars may fade above, but I will always carry with me my Father's endless love. And when they ask me who I am, I will smile and answer softly, "I am my Father's son. I am my Father's son." Thank you for listening to this story on Vindication. If you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I read every single one, and I want to know where you are watching from today. Drop your country in the comments and tell me, have you ever been underestimated by someone who thought they were better than you? I will be reading and responding. And remember, a lone wolf might lose his mate, but he never loses his teeth. See you in the next story.